What is going on, YouTube? This is Burm, and I promise you Tom Hanks is behind us right now, but you can't see him because this video is going to be a little different than our other weeks in the Northeastern Battle League of America. This is a post-commentary. The reason being that my video files got a little bit messed up as I was recording them the other night as I played against Ben in our Week 11 battle, and so this is just sort of the best we have to do. If it's going to happen in one battle, I'm glad that it was this one because, as I was saying in my actual live comm of the video, this battle really doesn't mean anything in the big picture. Ben is out of playoffs and we are in playoffs, and going into this battle I wanted to have some fun with the team, bring a bunch of sets that I know I'm probably not going to use in playoffs because I don't want to reveal anything to the opponents that I'm going to have in playoffs. And I just want to sort of run some weird things and see if I can win with some weird things. Especially since Ben can't make it into playoffs, I don't feel bad about playing sort of like silly sets against him. That said, it's also a very good game, so I do want to just go through the team really quickly. You see the team that he has in front of him: the Sharpedo, the Gengar, the Mega Gallade, the Roserade, the Thundurus Eye, and the Keldeo. We have on our side a Choice Banded Victini, a Z Encore Raichu, I'll talk about that a little more in a second, a Defensive Slurpuff with Toxic Protect, Wish, and Sticky Webs. We have a Choice Scarfed Mixed Lucario. We have a Swords Dance Flying type Silvally. And we have a mixed, well, it's kind of mixed. It's a Mega Gyarados with Crunch, Waterfall, Stone Edge, and Fire Blast. Ben has a Fortress on his squad, and I brought the Fire Blast because if you run a Hasty Nature, as long as you run a Nature that doesn't subtract special attack, you actually don't need to invest any special attack EVs into it, and Fire Blast will still one-hit KO a Fortress, and with Mold Breaker that would have one-hit KO the Fortress. I tried bringing this same set against Ben the first time we played him. It did not work the first time. We just didn't get into a situation where we needed to do that, and you'll see that this time he does not bring the Fortress. So that ends up not being very useful to us at all. The Pokemon that I really want to sweep with in this battle are the Raichu, which for some reason does not show up on our screen, as you can see here, and also Shodan doesn't like Raichu for some reason, and also this Swords Dance Silvally would be a fun Pokemon to put in some work for us. And yeah, so I'm just going to get into the battle here. We're just going to jump into, I'm going to lead with the Lucario since it's Choice Scarf. I just want to see what he's going to lead with. And instead of going for anything here, my thought process is that he's going to Protect, and then he'll be faster than us with Scarf, or with a +1 speed boosted Sharpedo if he hits Protect. And then he'll outspeed Rasengan, and since we're not Focus Sash this week like we usually are, he could go for an Earthquake and just one-hit KO us. So instead of that, I want to go into my Gyarados here. I want to get the Intimidate off so I can subtract his attack and scout for the Protect. He doesn't show it here, which leads me to believe, and since he doesn't go for Earthquake, I think that he doesn't have Protect on this thing, which is just a good thing to keep in mind. Let me just skip through this a little bit here. I don't want to waste too much time. I do go for the Mega Evolution here. I think my thought process, again, is that really the only things that I can intimidate on his team are the Sharpedo and the Mega Gallade. And I just want to do damage. I don't mind losing my Intimidate factor in this battle. Here I'm going to switch into Pupcake just to take whatever the Keldeo wants to throw. But it actually goes for Scald and does a lot of damage. It goes over half, which actually doesn't pop our berry because our berry is an Iapapa berry. It's the quarter health berry, which doesn't help us in this situation, unfortunately. It would have been perfect if it was a citrus berry because then I could outspeed and set up the sticky webs here. I'm thinking that if I can get the sticky webs up, then we can set up our Raichu. The Z Encore Raichu, what it does is if you hit Z Encore, you obviously get the effects of Encore, and you also get a speed boost. The Raichu also has Nasty Plot, so I'm thinking that if we can get one speed boost up especially with sticky webs down, and get one nasty plot up, we can do a lot to his team. He's got Thunderbolt and Hidden Power Ice. I'm also realizing that based on what sets he brings, I may need to get 2 nasty plots up with Raichu. Really, all of what I do in the beginning of this game is to try to set up the Raichu. Here, obviously, I can't stay in against Roserade or else the Gyarados will be lost. So what I do is I go right into Victorine. It's Choice Banded. I believe that it can take whatever this Roserade wants to throw, and it actually goes right for a substitute. I believe I go for a U-turn here to break the sub and sort of see what it wants to do next. I might actually just go for a Zen Headbutt. I'm trying to remember exactly what my plays were. In the live recording, I also need to admit that I was at my friend's house. I had bad Wi-Fi connection. And I also was just drinking with my friend. We played this also like late at night. So I really wasn't taking this game as seriously as I probably should have. I definitely underestimated Ben a little bit. That being said, I know that Ben is a good player. The whole scouting process to get players into this league, I need to have a good recommendation from somebody in the league that they are a good player, and I've heard that. I had heard that from 2 different people who are in the league that Ben is good. So I'm saying that I'm underestimating Ben. Really, this game didn't matter much, and so I was sort of taking it very lightly, which is why I also don't mind that this is a live, or sorry, not a live commentary. It's a post commentary. You see that I go for the Zen Headbutt there, and he goes for a great play and goes into the Sharpedo. I really wish that I had gone for a switch there instead. I guess I hoped that he'd go for another sub. I didn't want that to happen, but he does the right thing. He goes right into Sharpedo, he blocks it, and now I have to switch out because I'm locked into Zen Headbutt, and I obviously can't affect Sharpedo. It makes me wonder if Zen Headbutt was even a good bring, because Bolt Strike and hit his entire team for a very good amount of damage. Zen Headbutt was a move that I threw on there at the end, and I just didn't need. You'll see that I switch into the physically defensive Pupcake there. Sharpedo goes for the Waterfall, and we pop our Aya Papa. At this point, we're double speed. So we will outspeed the Sharpedo, and I'm going to go for Sticky Webs, I think. No, instead I go for Wish. I guess I wanted to get more health up in case he did switch, which he does end up doing. Here I should go for a Protect. I want to get this health back so that I can live a Sludge Bomb and get those webs up. I'm looking at his team, and I'm realizing all he's got to defog is that Thundurus. Do I think that Thundurus has defog? That's the question. So I go for the Sticky Webs here. He goes into his Gengar. This thing can also Sludge Bomb me, obviously. But it doesn't. It goes for a substitute. And now I'm in trouble because I don't have any moves that can hit this thing. I go for a Wish to see if I can pass it to something else. That's the thought process there. Gengar doesn't typically run like stat boosting moves, so I wasn't in any danger of him setting up for me there. He goes for a great play and goes right for a Will-O-Wisp, assuming that I'm going to pass the Wish. I think that he was saying that he was there. I think that the thought process on his side there was that he was going to pass the Wish. Or that I was going to pass the Wish, and he goes for the great play of going for the Will-O-Wisp there. Now I'm in trouble because I'm burned. Once a Carp is kind of crippled now, but I'm still going to try to save it. He can go for Thunderbolt all he wants, and I see this as an opportunity to go into my Lightning Rod Raichu. Once again, I hate that you can't see Chupacabra here, but I go into Lightning Rod, I get the +1 special attack. I'm thinking now I might only need 1 nasty plot to sweep. And if he's locked into Thunderbolt, I might as well go for Z Encore right here. If he wants to stay in and try to go for like a Shadow Ball or something, he'll be locked into Z Encore. I'm checking my my speed stats here right now. I could lock him into I could lock him into Thunderbolt. He would just continually boost me, and I get the Encore off. Then I'd be at +2 special attack and +1 speed. You'll see if that happens here in a second. Really, I'm not totally remembering right now what the levels of his Pokemon are at, but I'm sitting here. I know that the Thundurus will die to a +3 Thunderbolt. if I can get this thing off, but he does the right thing again, and he switches into Roserade. I really can't commend Ben more on his plays, his switches in this game. I get the Encore. The Encore obviously does nothing, which is kind of a bummer. That's kind of like what this set needs, especially now that I'm looking back at using it. It needs to lock somebody into something. If it can lock somebody into a move that they don't want to use, then you can get a free Nasty Plot off. And right now I don't have a free Nasty Plot. Right now if I want to Nasty Plot, he's going to get a move off on me. You'll see what move that is in a second. It ends up being a move that is incredibly useful for him. Right here, I'm at the +3 special attack, and he goes for Toxic. All of a sudden, I'm on a timer, and I have all these boosts up, and I can't use the Encore again, so I'm sitting here like, I just got to go for it. My calc was saying that that would kill, so this is a specially defensive Roserade. We know it's not a Soul Fest because it's using Toxic and Leech Seed. And I'm right now just like, I need to kill this Roserade. I need to get as many kills as I can before my Raichu now goes down to all this chip damage that he's putting on top of me. He knew he was going to live that hidden power. Again, that was a really good play on Ben's part. He goes into Keldeo here, which is another fantastic switch. It's like, if I had gone for a Thunderbolt there, I wouldn't have killed Roserade, but I would have killed Keldeo. It was a 50-50 chance, and he made the right call, and I made the wrong one. Here, I go for a Thunderbolt to kill the Keldeo. He switches right back into Roserade and lives once again on 4%. He gets all of this chip damage off, and all of a sudden, I'm dying next turn. I know that I can kill something with Thunderbolt here, so I just go for it. But now, Raichu's gone, and that was the Pokemon that I was trying to sweep with. In my mind, at this point in time, I'm thinking, okay, Chupacabra's gone. He was just like an offensive glass cannon that I'm trying to like kill with. And there's still other Pokemon that can do that work. I still have like a Mega Gyarados on my side. That's naive nature, like it's as fast as it can be. I still have a Banded Victini. I still have this Swords Dance Sylveon that I would love to try to set up. At this moment, Ben is actually apologizing to me in the chat for having to do all those switches, but I mean, I have played enough Pokemon to know that that's exactly what he had to do there. He played exactly how he needed to. And he sacked a Pokemon that he didn't need for the rest of this matchup. Right here is where I make my biggest mistake, and I suddenly realize, you know what? Raichu was actually more than just an offensive threat in this game. The fact that I had Lightning Rod on Raichu was what was stopping this Thundurus. I make an awful play. I go into Pupcake just to sack it off and see what his item is, and it doesn't matter. He goes for Nasty Plot. I go for Toxic to try to stop it in case it wants to go for another Nasty Plot, but it doesn't. It just goes for Hidden Power. All of a sudden, I'm looking at my team. Nothing wants this. I'm running calcs at this point. Nothing wants to even look at this Thundurus. Thundurus is an absolute monster in this game. I go to Rasengan, I think, can I get a flinch with a Rock Slide? There's still a way out of this. Can I get a flinch with a Rock Slide? I know that I'm faster. Rock Slide's not going to kill. It might do over half. It's a damage roll, I believe. On this set at least. I'm thinking if I can get a flinch on a Rock Slide, then I can kill the Thundurus. I can still bring this game back. But if Rasengan goes down here, I have 2 Pokemon weak to Thunderbolt, and 1 Pokemon that at least my calcs are saying is going to kill my Victini. You'll see that I don't get the flinch. I do 75%, but he hits me with a Hidden Power Fire, I believe. It might have been Hidden Power Ground, actually. It might have been Hidden Power Ground. And actually, if it was Hidden Power Ground, now that I'm looking at it from an outsider's perspective, that would have really threatened my Raichu too. So it may not have mattered too much. I'm looking at my team. This is what's happening right now. In the live commentary, I'm thinking, what can I do? I go into Victory Aim, I think, can Victory Aim live something? I know that it can't. I'm thinking, can I outspeed somehow? The only way I'd be able to outspeed is if he was running like a Modest set. And there's no reason he'd run a Modest set and Nasty Plot. So I'm really just thinking, what can I do? I can't do anything. He gets a crit anyway. Like I said, based on my calcs, it didn't matter. I think Ben was worried that it did matter. From what I had, it didn't matter. And truly, for the rest of this game, as you can see, it does not matter what I have. This is a flying memory. It's not this is just a regular speed flying memory Silvally that just does not want to take that Thunderbolt at all, and then he obviously cleans up my Gyarados here and kills, and he gets the 5-0 sweep on me in the second to last week of the season. I am really glad, honestly, that that this happened. First reason being that it's a wake-up call. It means that I'm not strolling into playoffs with only one loss all season. I'm now going in with 2 losses. I'm now going in thinking, okay, I don't want to have negative momentum. I have to come back and win in the last week against Zach, which is a battle that'll go up later after this one. And I'm also thinking that gimmicks aren't going to do it for me for the most part. Really crazy gimmicks aren't going to do it for me, especially a team of gimmicks like I had here. A team of Pokemon that I hadn't used all season. Obviously, that was kind of the strategy, is that I'm not going to use Pokemon I'm going to use because I don't want to reveal sets. So I'm fine with losing it, but once again, it was a wake-up call. The second reason that I'm glad it happened is because Ben played really well, and he sort of got the short end of the stick this season. He didn't get too many wins. So it's great that on the back end of the season, he actually played his last game of the season, like his Week 12 game before he played this one, and then he played his Week 11, which was this one. So this was his last game of the season, and he pulled off a really nice sweep with his Thundurus. So I'm happy for him in that way. He also played so well defensively. Like I said, all those switches, the Sharpedo switch in on my Zen Headbutt, knowing that I was probably locked in, all the switches when I had set up my Raichu, and then eliminating my Raichu. Obviously, it was a well-deserved win for him. And then, of course, the third reason that I'm excited is because if you watched my battle against Nick, I don't remember what week it was, but Nick was the other person who beat me. It was like a 45-minute battle. Even though I beat Karch in the regular season, he ended up getting the first spot in our conference because we ended up with a tied record, and he had way more differential than me. He's been like cleaning his games, and I've been winning strategically by a little bit. I play a little more safer than Karch does, and his team is also just like a team of powerhouses. So he's either losing or he's winning by a lot. I came in second in the division or in the conference, so meaning that I now play the third place person instead of the fourth place person. Had I been first, I would have played against Liam in the first round of playoffs, and now confirmed, despite whatever happens in my Week 12 battle, I am 100% playing against Nick in the first round of playoffs. Nick's the one who beat me the first time. I played horribly in that game, despite having the matchup, I think, in Team Preview. Nick brought a lot of weird sets against me, and I've lost to Nick in the past as well. And I really said, I remember saying at the end of the video, if you can go back and you can fact check me, I said, I want Nick again. I want him to make playoffs so that I can get my revenge. And the third reason that I'm glad that this happened right now is because now I get to play Nick in the first round of playoffs. And we've already texted about it, and we're both really excited. I think that I have a crazy team against Zach for this upcoming battle. So you should definitely check that out. And then in playoffs, I'm going to actually make team builder videos separate. They're going to be short, but I'm going to go a little bit more in depth with the team and show what I'm doing and what I'm bringing. I just want to get some practice doing that because I could potentially have 3 playoff battles maximum, or a minimum of 1 if I just lose to Nick. So yeah, definitely look out for that in the future of this channel. Definitely watch my battle against Zach, and it's going to be the battle after this one. Thank you so much for watching this. I know it was a post commentary. I hope that wasn't too annoying for anybody. Once again, not too many people watch these, but for those who do, I really appreciate it. thank you so much for watching, if you're still watching now. Yeah, like, comment, subscribe if you want to do that. And I really am just having a lot of fun in this season, and I hope that you're having fun following along if you are. So, thanks a lot, and I will catch you next time. Later.